Welcome to Beyond the Broadsheet, a podcast by the Lincoln County News. We are a community newspaper based in Mid-Coast, Maine, and we provide the most comprehensive, in-depth coverage available anywhere of the 18 towns and one plantation that make up Lincoln County. My name is Juell, and I'm a reporter here at LCN covering the towns of Newcastle, Damascotta, Edgecombe, and Whitefield.
And my name is Christina Wallace, and I'm also a reporter here at LCN covering the towns of Bristol, South Bristol, Noblesboro, and Bremen.
In our last episode, we talked about the best pet-friendly spots in the county. This week, Mick LeBel and Lucas McNelly will wrap up the spring sports season in our second segment, so stay tuned. But first, here are some of the top stories from the Thursday, July 10th edition of the Lincoln County News. Last Friday was the 4th of July, and so we did not release our regularly scheduled episode, but we did get to go out and cover some of the Independence Day events across Lincoln County. How was the Wiscasset Parade?
The Wiscasset Parade was great. I talked to the commander of the American Legion there in Wiscasset, and he said that it's one of the best crowds they've ever had, and the weather just worked out really perfect for them. It was nice and sunny. So yeah, it was a really good time. There was a lot of fun floats there.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, Whitefield was also cool. It was perfect weather for a parade, and yeah, I don't know. I am not usually a big 4th of July celebrator, so it was good to get out and go to a parade.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
I was talking to my fiance, and I realized that I had never gotten to celebrate a 4th of July since starting college. So this has been really nice to be able to just go celebrate. So yeah.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
What's happening in other news?
So the Damascotta police chief is set to depart in August. Our editor, Maia Zewert, covered this. The police chief, Jason Warlick, is going to resign effective August 1st. He is taking a new job as the chief deputy of the Saginaw County Sheriff's Office. He has been the police chief in Damascotta since 2017, and Maia was actually the reporter who covered his swearing-in ceremony. Yes. And she also pointed out that it was also on August 1st, 2017. So his career with the Damascotta police really came full circle.
Truly.
He said, "I'm very blessed and humbled to have been able to serve the community here for so long." The select board is going to discuss finding a new police chief at their meeting on Wednesday, July 16th.
Very nice. Exciting stuff. In other news, Schooner Landing made its triumphant return just in time for the 4th of July, and I got to talk with the owners Caleb Jones and Scott Folsom about rebuilding the restaurant following an electrical fire which destroyed almost the entire place last September. They managed to do the whole construction process, get everything done on the Sunday before they reopened, and so Sunday to Wednesday, July 2nd, they had their soft opening. The Scottery River Trio played, and it was very busy. I went to take pictures, and it was a good time.
You got some good pictures of that too.
Thank you. Jones and Folsom said that reopening for the 2025 season could not have been possible without community support. They could not emphasize that enough. Mm-hmm. So they said it was important to them to help us get open, and we're forever grateful.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Very excited to go now that they've reopened.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The Waldoboro Fire Department announced new promotions at the select board meeting on Tuesday, July 8th. The town fire department appointed Derek Reed and Daniel Jones as new fire lieutenants and promoted Andrew Santhison to fire captain. 4 junior firefighters were also recognized for completing their basic fire training. And the select board chair, John Blodgett, thanked the fire department for their efforts throughout the years. And he was also on the fire department for a while.
Oh, really?
So he could definitely empathize with all of the hard work that they put in.
Yeah, he knows what they're up to.
For sure.
That's cool.
It was really nice to be able to see the pinning ceremony and see their loved ones putting their badges on them. And yeah, it was a great time.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Edgecombe approved an additional $81,000 in funds for their fire station repairs. So during a July 2nd special town meeting, Edgecombe residents approved the funds. It was a pretty narrow vote. It was 10-7. The original plan was to fix 5 exterior doors and their headers, but Select Board Chair Michael Maxim said the cost of repairs grew from the original $60,000 approved by voters when extensive rot was found. Former Select Board member Mike Smith said the rot was due to a basic mistake during the original building process, which allowed water to reach interior components. And a lot of people are not very happy about the situation. There wasn't an official contract for the building, and Maxim did not go to voters before approving the extra construction. And so he said, I take this as a great opportunity to learn from the process.
Yeah, there you go. All right, in Dresden, a resident starts a project to install service flags on poles. Dresden residents put up some new flags on June 30th, just in time for the 4th of July. Resident Steve Stone bought the flags so the town could show some patriotism year-round, and he called it a private citizen initiative. Stone said that he will be the unofficial keeper of the flags, which means he'll do the work of restoring and repairing them as needed. And his goal is for this to be a yearly thing. So during the flag season, he will be putting the flags up. And yeah, I talked to him on the phone and he was very, very excited about it. And just stressed the importance of like all of the citizens coming together to make this happen.
He seemed very passionate about it from the article, which is cool.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, Sarah Masters, our arts and eats reporter, went out to the Damerscott Chamber of Commerce, their first ever art tour. So the Chamber of Commerce hosted that in June, and the weekend events program included art viewings at 36 locations, including a repurposed horse arena and a converted chicken barn. We love upcycling. And among the art pieces on display was a mosaic covered guitar and also a stick figure metal sculpture. So there was something for everyone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Alna presents a Spirit of America Award to Longtime Volunteer, and this was by our summer intern, Dylan Burmeister. Alna's Select Board honored resident Mary Fossil with the Spirit of America Award at their meeting on Tuesday, July 3rd. Fossil has given back to the community as a Veggies to Table volunteer, a operations director for the Alna Community Garden, and co-president of the Morris Farm. She's also done more, and she's very important in the Lincoln County community. Tom Alrich, a resident, said Mary Fossil has for many years sown and cultivated a perennial crop of joy.
It's
It's very sweet.
High regards.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be told that I cultivate a perennial crop of joy. In other news, a former cheesemaker builds Whitefield horse training business from the ground up. I got to talk with Jesse Dowling, who was in the news a few years ago for participating in the Mongol Derby, which is an insanely strenuous experience. And I got to talk to her about going from owning Fuzzy Udder Creamery to owning Iron Ledge Farm, which is a horse training farm. Yes, she had childhood dreams of working with horses and, strayed from that. But after her experience in the Derby and some other personal things, she decided it was time to go full in on her dreams. And so now she does lessons, organized retreats, and boards horses. I had never interacted with horses in person, and so I got to pet some horses while I was there.
Oh, that's so cool.
It did scare me a little bit, but it was all good.
That's awesome.
She also has goats from Fuzzy Udder Creamery. Like, she kept all the goats, and they just get to chill.
That's so sweet.
It's very nice.
Yeah. Thompson Ice House's annual ice cream social celebrates history. South Bristol's Thompson Ice House hosted its annual ice cream social on Sunday, July 6th. 400 to 500 people usually make it out to this event, where harvested ice is turned into fresh ice cream using antique tools. The Thompson Ice House Preservation Corps holds the event to keep up the building's long-held ice harvesting tradition. And Ken Lincoln, the president of the Ice House Preservation Corps, said, "I enjoy spreading the history and keeping it alive."
So cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could have gone out and enjoyed some of the freshly cultivated ice cream.
It definitely sounds like a good time. I've never heard of ice cream harvesting like that before with ice. So that was definitely a new thing for me. But our summer intern Nora Conlon covered this, so I heard she had a really good time out there.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how. I mean, we had talked about it before, but to hear like 400 to 600 people, that's like a good turnout.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot of people.
Pretty crazy. Our last spotlight for the week is our character of the county was Dickie Spofford, and Sherwood Olin, our assistant editor, wrote this story. Richard Dickie Spofford served the Boothbay Fire Department for 22 years. And he also served as fire chief up until he retired in 2023. But before then, he is very proud to say he was the person leading response to Lincoln County's largest fire of memory, which happened at an East Boothbay shipyard in 2008. There was millions of dollars of damages.
Oh, wow.
Pretty intense stuff.
Yeah.
Spofford currently spends his time lobster fishing and hanging out with his kids and grandkids, so much more leisurely time now than multi-million-dollar fires.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
A lot less stress.
Yes, I would say so. But yeah, if you want to read some more about him and his life, feel free to check out the front page of this week's edition. And now, Mick and Lucas with the sports.
All right, welcome to the, I guess the sports roundup. It's the segment that goes seasonally, bi-seasonally, semi-seasonally. It's the beginning and end of each season. We, Mick LeBel and I, Mick LeBel, say hello, Mick.
Hi, I'm the sports reporter here at the Lincoln County News.
And I'm Lucas McNelly. I work here at the Lincoln County News. I produce podcasts, and I also run Maine basketballrankings.com. And so we're going to recap for you and go over the spring sports season. And the phone is ringing. Someone's phone is ringing here. Was that Chelsea's phone?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Should we start over?
Sure.
Let's start over. Okay.
Okay.
Welcome to the seasonal, semi-seasonal, something like that.
Tri-seasonal
Recap of the spring sports season. I'm Lucas McNelly of MaineBasketballRankings.com. I'm the producer of this here podcast. With me today is Mick LeBel of the Lincoln County News.
And I'm the sports reporter for the Lincoln County News.
And so what we like to do at the beginning and end of each high school sports season is sort of either preview or recap what happened and give you all the details so that when you get stuck at a party this summer and someone says, oh, yeah, my kid plays this, you'll have some idea what they're talking about. That's, I think, the real goal here.
Yeah.
Is to keep you entertained.
And I just love talking about and going to and covering local high school sports. So for me, it's just fun to talk with Lucas about all this stuff.
And I went to exactly one game this spring.
Well,
the problem is,
I wish I counted how many I went to.
The problem is they're all at 3:00 in the afternoon, and some people have jobs. And basketball season they're that night. So
honestly, that is one of the challenges of spring sports is that it is all right after school. I coach a high school team, so that makes it even more challenging to get around to all the events or as many events as I can. And so I am a little bit hamstrung in the spring season more than others. So I unfortunately probably do not get to as many events as I would in the fall and winter.
And, in the fall, they have some of the games go under the lights, soccer games, football games, obviously. So that helps because it gets darker earlier. But it does seem like some of these games, you know, when you get to like late May, it's kind of sunny.
Yeah.
Pretty late. Like we could start this a little bit later, I think.
Yeah, but they don't. So it's all crammed into the afternoons. And then also I don't get to stay as long at each event, I would say, because I have to bounce to another one because they're co-located. Like at Lincoln Academy, you can have tennis, lacrosse, and softball going on at the same time. So yeah, it's challenging. And not to mention senioritis and summeritis and all the other aspects of coaching a spring sport.
Well, let's start with coaching a spring sport. So we'll do first your team, Lincoln Academy, lacrosse.
Yeah, girls lacrosse.
Girls lacrosse had a pretty successful season.
Yeah, I guess it would be the best one ever.
Do you want to rant about the scheduling snafu at the end of the season, or do you want to not rant about the scheduling snafu at the end of the season?
Yeah, probably not rant. You know, it turned out to not be as much of a factor as we thought. I think the big factor was maybe it's the 10 days between our last game and our first playoff game.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We did win that game, so I forgot all about it, honestly. And you know, then we moved on to the next game was 3 or 4 days later, which is perfect. So yeah, winning, you forget some of the hassles that happen in scheduling of playoff games and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, it was a great season. We tied our best record ever with a 10-4 campaign. We upset some teams that I didn't expect we would, like Coney.
I remember you being very excited the next day.
Yeah, that was big. And I think you had us ranked 9th in the state, I think, on your rankings, at least before we lost that final game to Maranacook.
Yeah, I didn't update the rankings for spring sports after the tournament started because I got lazy and really tired. And I was waiting for new glasses to show up, and I was like just exhausted.
Yeah, so it was a great year. 10-4, like I said, you know, great team effort, really coachable team, fun team. Yeah, we fell 1 goal short in the state semifinal. Lost 10-9, had a shot with 20 seconds left, and the goalie stopped it. So
and
that's the way it goes sometimes.
Team you lost to, they won the whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
they did.
Okay, so here's the eternal question for any coach or any player really who's lost in a tournament game. Would you have preferred them to win the whole thing or get blown out the next game?
I think so, even though I wasn't a fan personality-wise maybe of their coach and coaching staff, but I do think they do a great job with that team, and just a great team, and they deserved it. And so, yeah, I'm happy with it.
Okay.
I think it helped show how strong we were this year, because having a northern team like Maranacook win it really offset the tradition of southern teams winning it. So it shows that our northern division is definitely stronger, getting stronger, and can compete with the South. So I thought it was actually a landmark win for Maranacook. I just wish it was us, and it could have been us.
Because the South has been in lacrosse, and it seems like in all of the spring sports, the South is usually dominant over the North. And I'm not 100% sure why that is. Is it a population thing? Is it that there's more fields available?
It's 3 or 4 things. It's tradition. It just goes way back. Some of those schools have had girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, you know, for decades. And, you know, you look at North Yarmouth Academy, schools like that. So that's part of it. Population's definitely part of it. Feeder programs is a big part of that. We have nothing here in Lincoln County right now. So I know I mentioned this in our preview. We have freshmen come in. I hand them a stick. Here's how you hold it.
Here are the rules.
Upside down. Here's the rules, which are very complicated. And it takes a year. And down there, they have some really excellent travel programs. The Maniacs is one that jumps out at me. So yeah, we're kind of fighting uphill as far as that goes, and they play year round. You know, we hardly have any kids in Mid-Coast Maine and any of the schools, Camden Hills, et cetera, that play year round. And that's partly because you got to drive to Portland, you know, to do that. So they pick up their sticks in March and we get off and running literally so we have a very athletic team, and that's our success is, you know, using every advantage we have. And we've been fortunate to get some of the great soccer, field hockey, basketball players, in particular basketball, in the last year or two. Or 4, I should say. Merriam Delisle started that trend.
What sort of basketball skills translate to lacrosse?
Man, so many. Just the structure of the offense, moving the ball around, off-ball movement, setting picks. Defensively, it's squaring up your opponent and having your good footwork ready to cut one way or the other. So many things translate from basketball to lacrosse, and that's really helped players like Miriam Delisle and Rowan Coffin this year, Izzy Bay, another freshman basketball player that did really well. A lot of that ball movement is the same. A lot of the cutting is the same. You're cutting to a net instead of a basket.
Sure.
You know, it really is very similar. I wish I had been a basketball player growing up. I think it really would have helped with both my playing lacrosse and coaching lacrosse. But I've tried to incorporate more of the basketball concepts.
Well, everyone should play basketball.
See, that's why you like lacrosse. You got to get more into it.
Well, you got to start the games later in the day.
Yeah, true. Very true. It was a great season. We had a lot of young players that performed at or better than I expected. Izzy Bay and Rowan Coffin. A couple examples. Rowan, a sophomore. Izzy, a freshman. Flannery, Brady was really good on defense as a sophomore. So we had some young players step up. Our goalie performed well. Sierra Stokes, it was her 3rd year. So as a junior, she really held down the fort there in the back with our defense. And I went back, I did listen to the preview podcast, and there were a bunch of things I nailed, a few things I missed. And but this was one I was pretty much on target. I said our goal was to make the Final Four, which we did. And
there you go.
You know, and some of the players that I highlighted also in our defense, generally speaking, came through as expected. And our star player performed as expected as well.
She had a great season.
They had 99 goals.
Wow.
I thought she had 100, but turns out it was 99. But hey, you know. And set the all-time record with 247 in her career, which speaks to her ability to stay healthy. Yeah, I don't think she missed a game to injury in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really noteworthy. And I don't know if that's because, you know, she takes good care of herself off the field, and you know, nutrition wise and all those things, or if it's luck or what. But I
mean, it's always a little bit of luck with injury, because you get the ball to the face. Who knows?
Right. Exactly.
Weird things happen all the time.
Have a broken finger. She gets, you know, slashed, hacked, you know, every game. So towards the end of the season, I would say we were starting to get a little worn down in those playoffs, just because our midfielders play the whole game. Mm-hmm. They run up and down the field. We rode our horses, our best players, hard this year, and I predicted that would happen. And so Rowan, Sophie Day, and Miriam Delisle at midfield pretty much played the whole game. And that's a lot, running up and down, playing defense and offense. And that was unusual, actually. Most teams will have about 6 midfielders that'll play a game. We had 3, and then we had a good sub, and Bella Collmore was our 4th midfielder, did a nice job for us. So yeah, it was a great season. You know, we met our expectations. We almost exceeded them, but you know, you fall one shot short, and
so close.
But we played great. They played great. Officials did a good job. So
So let's move on to the boys. The Lincoln boys lacrosse. What sort of season did they have? I know they weren't in the Final Four.
No, they were, when we predicted that they would make the playoffs this year like they did last year, but they just went on a really unfortunate run at the end of the season. I think they lost their last 5 games, 3 of which were winnable games, and they were close. And could have gone either way, but they didn't go their way, including their last game against Camden Hills. I think they lost by 3, and they needed that one to make the playoffs. Yeah, so they fell a little short, and as predicted, their goaltending and defense was good, and they just didn't have the offense, which we also predicted. Just, they didn't have the elite scorer like we did on the girls' side. So yeah, they fell a little short and didn't make the playoffs, but, they had a good year. It's tough when you lose your last 5 games.
Yeah, that's not great fun.
And they had injuries and were missing players. And, for some of their travel, they had to go to, their schedule got messed with more than ours.
Okay.
Folks listening probably remember all the rain we had this spring.
I was going to say I could have gone to some Saturday games, but it did rain every single Saturday.
Yeah, it did. So their schedule got moved around, and they had players that had to be somewhere that couldn't be there for certain games, and that hurt them as well. So a little bit of bad luck and a little bit of the challenge of not having a feeder program as well. So, but they did good. I think they were generally happy with their season, although obviously playoffs.
You would rather be in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I guess they're disappointed. They didn't.
Yeah.
They expected to make that first round. So then I expected them as well. So that was one of my misses on my predictions.
All right. And so, Booth, there's no other lacrosse teams? Does Booth Bay have a team?
There are kids from Booth Bay that play for Morse.
Okay.
They're a co-op team. I have to admit, I meant to get to a Morse game and find out who those kids were, et cetera, but I didn't. So
okay.
I do think it's only 2 or 3 kids that
I don't
do
think
that.
Morse had a very good year.
No, I almost think Lincoln beat them as well. So, no, I don't think they were particularly strong.
All right. So let's move to one of our state championships. Let's go to tennis. The Lincoln girls tennis team, undefeated, correct?
Undefeated,
okay.
Yes. And they came from behind to win the state championship match. It was amazing. I'm so thankful that I was there.
How do you come from behind in team tennis? Because I'm a little unsure how team tennis works as opposed to just watching Wimbledon.
It's such a great question, and that's part of the excitement of going, I think, is you have 3 matches. Actually, I guess at this event, there were 4 matches going on all at once. So you can sort of see the scores on each court. They do flip up numbers as they're going
So they're
along.
going on at the same time.
The kids actually flip these Rolodex-y kind of things.
It's like the things for summer basketball that you put on the side of the court and you just flip the numbers.
Yeah. So you can see what's going on, and it ebbs and flows, and, players surge ahead and behind and, so forth.
All the games are going on at the same time.
4 of the 5. And then the feature match, which is the first singles, is the last match to start, and it starts when one of the other courts becomes available.
Okay.
So
it might be over by the time you get to the feature match. The team
definitely
competition.
Correct. Okay. Which it was looking like would be the case. However, Lincoln Academy's Olive Siegel came back. She gutted it out. It was like a 3-hour match.
Jeez.
In the sun. It was hot.
Yeah, that was a hot day.
At Bates College in Lewiston, and she lost the first set. She came up against somebody. It was funny. The Lincoln Academy coach, Melissa Burrows, referred to as a backboard. So basically, her opponent wasn't making any risky shots. Was just like dun-dun, dun-dun,
it's just like when you're practicing ping pong up against the wall.
Yeah, which is why the match went on for 2 hours and 45 minutes or whatever it ended up being, because it was just long volleys. And that was just a different kind of opponent than Olive was used to, and just a very consistent player on the other side for Old Town. So she fell behind. She barely won the second set that she had to win in overtime, I believe 7-5. And then the third and final set started when the first singles match, the fifth different competition at the event, had started, because one of the doubles matches had been decided for Old Town. So they were actually up 2-1.
Okay.
And Siegel's match was still going on, so
and
she
if
had
she
to
had
win.
Lost, then it would have been over.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then that fifth match, like you said, would have been irrelevant.
So she ties it 2-2.
She ties it about, I think, London Hunter was already up one set.
Okay.
In that deciding first singles match. So once Olive Siegel came back to win her second singles match, to tie it 2-2. Then all of a sudden Lincoln's ahead.
Then there's all this like shift in energy, I would imagine.
Definitely.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Now this matters.
Yeah. And then all eyes were on that first singles match, which London Hunter was heavily favored over her opponent and stormed to the victory to win the championship.
Cool.
But the Olive Siegel match was the dramatic match among the. I mean, obviously every match that they won was important, and Gigi Blake also won her singles match in third singles. She was way ahead, and then Old Town won the second set, and so it was almost the reverse of the Olive Siegel match. Not as long and dramatic as far as the length of points and volleys and things like that.
When was the last championship?
Oh, I was afraid that you would ask me that.
See, you got to know these things.
Yeah, I'm less of a archive historian kind of guy, which makes sense.
That's why you got to know. You got to know the people who have the archive in their head. So, like in basketball, it's Don
Roberts.
Shields. Yeah, Fritz
Paula knows all this stuff.
Or it's Don Shields or someone like that. And you text him. You're like, hey, when was the last time this happened? And he goes, well, I was in the gym in Mount View in 1974.
Exactly. She can reel those off. But I know it had been a while, but they have had a successful program for quite a few years. And they've at least gone to the finals and won, the regional. So it wasn't a total surprise, but if you...
Do we have the paper up here?
Well, I wrote the article.
Oh, so okay.
And being less of a historian, unfortunately. And I can't recall.
All right.
But I did not predict them to win the state championship, or perhaps even be in that match. I think I had them going to the regional final again.
I mean, that's pretty good.
They exceeded.
Are we calling that a win for you?
I think we'll call it a win.
All right, I'm going to start keeping track. So that's
Lacrosse. I had this one right.
So you're 2-1.
Yeah.
All right.
And in the preview, the thing I noted was the health of London Hunter, because she did not start the season. She was injured. She had a back injury. I didn't know what it was at that time. But she is their number one player. She's one of the best players in the state. And she did not play their first 6 matches out of 12. So she missed half the season.
And they still went undefeated.
Yes. Yeah, they still went undefeated without her, which shows how deep they are. They're a really deep program, as well as the boys team.
So
on
how
any
did the
given
boys
day,
team do?
The boys team they exceeded my expectations. This is one I'm going to say that I was wrong on.
All right, you're 2-2.
Yeah. Because they lost a lot of guys to graduation last year, and some of these young guys stepped up. James Hanley, Will Hilton, and they did better than expected. And I think even Coach Blake was pleasantly surprised. They did, as I noted, they had a couple returning players. Their number 1 and 2 singles players, Eli Melanson and George Siegel, who did as expected very well, helped carry the team. But the young guys that played doubles and the international players that played doubles, which I did note they always get every year, did really well and exceeded expectations. And so they went all the way to the South Finals, where they lost to Yarmouth, who's their nemesis. Historically, I do believe they've lost to Yarmouth in the South Final 3 years in a row.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I could, if you said to me, hey, Yarmouth is good at tennis, I would be like, yeah, of course they are.
Yeah. So
why wouldn't they be?
I wish I knew if they won the final, because I can't recall who did win the the whole state B's final. But yeah, they were close. I went to that match against Yarmouth, and even though they lost 5-0, so they didn't win any of the matches, I think every match went like
but a 5-0,
or they were all close.
Yeah, that could be misleading. Because
it was definitely misleading. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were close. They almost went to the state championship match as well. So yeah, they did great.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
And so other schools, does Boothbay have tennis?
They sure do. And
Okay.
they're actually really good. They also repeated as undefeated this year, 10-0, like they were last year. They compete in Class C. Definitely lighter competition than the B schools like Yarmouth and Cape Elizabeth.
But you still have an NYA and some places like that, right?
Yes. Well, it turns out that Waynfleet
Waynfleet
is their nemesis and knocked them out again. So they lost in the South Sea semifinal to Waynfleet, who I believe won it all. Again, I'm working off a memory on that.
Waynfleet tennis? Have they won like 19 straight or something?
That could be.
Is that the
I
one?
do think
or is that
they're
soccer? There's one of those streaks going around, and I don't remember off the top of my head which one it is.
Yeah, I know they're really good. So that was a tough opponent to face in the semifinal.
That's just a bad draw.
Yeah. So they did have a good season. One thing I guess I'll touch on that's confusing about tennis is there's this team championship by school. But then there's this individual championships.
Are they happening at the same time?
No. The individual ones happen much sooner, 2 or 3 weeks even. It's kind of unusual and unfortunate because London Hunter wasn't able to play in that. She wasn't ready yet. LA's really good girls #1 player. So she did not compete. So I guess I'll run down that list really quick of who did compete. Gigi Blake for Lincoln Academy. She's their #3 singles. She did pretty well. And Boothbay had 2 doubles teams in the boys' side that made it and qualified, one of which won a match. That was Cole Hyson and Harry Hinckley. I went to that. It was at Colby College. And one of their matches was actually at Bates as well. They had to move it because of the heat. They moved it inside, I believe.
Not because it was raining every Saturday for 3 months?
That might have been it, too.
What a fun spring.
And then Madomic Valley Girls had a doubles team, Haley Blake and Kondraki. And they won one of their matches that I went to against Caribou. And then, Laura Chapman. She made it all the way to the state semifinals.
Wow.
In singles.
How many?
And that's class A, B, and C. So when they do this, it's not relative.
How does this work? Because, so how many people, how big of a tournament is this?
It's not that big because they have a qualifier tournament. So all these, that's why it's noteworthy that they even qualified, honestly. All of these players, for them to even get to that tournament is an accomplishment in itself.
Okay. And then it's how many are in the actual tournament itself?
32. There's a round of 32.
Okay.
So there's, I believe, it doesn't start at 64. So some people get a bye. It's around, I should know this, but it's around 45 players in each category, but it's Class A, Class B, and Class C.
All lumped together.
Yeah.
So it's the top 40, in theory, the top 45 singles or doubles teams.
Which I really like.
in the state.
I think it's pretty cool when they do that kind of cross.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because it doesn't matter what size school you're at. If it's singles tennis, it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Exactly. So, I think it's an opportunity for those players to compete against, Class A. Or, in the case of our schools that are Class B and Class C. So, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So before I am jumping around a little bit here, but
that's
I wanted to make sure I did a call out to those athletes because that's an accomplishment for all of them. Eli Melanson, he also competed for Lincoln Academy at that tournament, and he won a match. He made it to the round of 32.
Cool.
And Laura Chapman of Booth Bay made it the furthest
to the
girls
semifinals.
singles. Yeah,
So that'd be
top four.
Top four. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But back to the teams. I forget where we left off, but
You were doing Booth Bay boys or
Booth
girls?
Bay boys. Yeah, Booth Bay boys had a great season. They lost, like I said, to Wayne Fleet in the semis. The girls team, not quite as strong. They really ride on Laura Chapman's success, and she would win every match. And then they'd
go 1-4.
And they actually didn't have enough players, so they would forfeit a match.
Oh, yeah, that's
in
right.
doubles, I think it was every time they played. So they're already down one at that point. But they had a good season. They made the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they got knocked out in the first round, which is a disappointment for someone like Laura Chapman, who's I understand she's going to IMG down in Florida for tennis.
Really?
I think I have that right.
So she's going
IMG
prep.
is the big prep school down in Florida,
that's one of them.
with all the sports. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them.
So she's after graduating. That's what she's taking kind of a gap year or a post grad.
Like a post grad year, like
Yeah.
a fifth year or whatever.
So it'll be interesting to see how she does down there against national competition.
Yeah, that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah. So Madamic girls, they had a good year. We predicted that they'd be strong. They returned most of their lineup. They lost to Cape Elizabeth in the South semifinal. So they made it pretty much about as far as we thought to I guess it would be the final four in Class B.
All right, we're counting that as a win for you.
Yeah, we had that one right. And I think that
How did my niece Brooke do?
Oh, you know who we didn't? Oh, sorry. Your niece Brooke did great. I had so much fun watching her.
Important things.
Yeah, playing doubles. Yeah, she did really well.
Awesome.
The match I went to, she won. It was against Lincoln Academy, I believe. Yeah, it was second doubles. Yeah, she did great. Definitely having a lot of fun. Big smiles. Yeah. Enjoyed watching her play. The only other team I didn't mention yet was the Madamic boys. This is one I guess I have to take a hit on that I was slightly wrong.
All right.
I had them as rebuilding, lost a lot, will be a challenge, was what I said. I did highlight the right guys. Colin Donlin had a great year, and this new kid, Michael Riley, had a really good year for them. So I said it would be rebuilding, which was correct. They did make the playoffs. They got knocked out early. I think it was by Lincoln Academy, actually.
Oh, okay.
But they did better than I expected. And they were another team, I think, that was forfeiting a match. They had 7 guys on the team, and you need 8, I think it is, to have enough to compete in all the events, doubles and singles. So
they got knocked out in the first round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But even to make the playoffs, I thought with a new coach and a lot of new faces, I thought that was a pretty successful year for them.
They were in first place for a minute when the MPA had the heel points all screwed up.
Is that right? Yeah.
Didn't they had like 2 teams in the South and like 18 teams in the North or whatever it was?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Hey.
It's like, hey, we're in first place. We're the only team here.
Yeah. In lacrosse, sometimes we get that if we get off to a good start. And I send it out on our Facebook page. Like, look, we're in first place. We actually did end up in second in Class C in the heel points. So
yeah.
That was good. And we won the KVAC championship. Forgot to mention that in the girls lacrosse.
Is that a first?
It is.
Look at that. They'll put up a banner for that probably.
Yes. Yeah, we got a banner. We rang the bell.
Flags fly forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was really cool. I'm bummed. Maybe we can patch that in back into the girls lacrosse summary. But not winning at all kind of takes away from that. So. Yeah, so on to...
let's go to baseball?
I think so. I think we covered all the tennis, but yeah, it was really exciting to watch the Lincoln girls win that. And that's a big win, obviously, state championship. So well-deserved.
Well-deserved.
Great team, great coach, great season. You know, they put it all together. So softball, I'm going to jump.
You want to do baseball or softball?
I want to jump right into softball.
Let's do softball.
I'm so excited
this is the
for Madomic Valley.
The one game I went to.
And going back and listening to my preview, I think I nailed it.
Okay.
I was super excited. I said I have high expectations. They have everyone back. And I even think when I discussed the pitching situation that I couched it the right way, because I noted how their pitcher Boynton had graduated and moved on, but how they had started working in Sydney Nichols. Mm-hmm. And that she looked really good and that she could be their ace and that a lot was going to ride on her. Well, and sure enough.
She was one of the stories
definitely
statewide this year.
Yeah, fantastic season, clutch playoffs, which is what you need from a young player as a sophomore, you know, stepping up.
So I went to the state championship game on this. And the thing I noticed, because I was sort of, you know, I was definitely watching her because she'd had that big game against York. And that's all everyone was talking about at that game. Like people like at the baseball field, they were talking about her performance against York because York led the state in scoring.
Correct.
At 15 runs a game. And she hit them in the semifinals. Or in the regional final, I guess you would say.
Yeah, regional final.
So the thing I noticed about her is second inning, she gives up a double, I think, like a leadoff double. And then the runner gets to third somehow, I think. I might be remembering this wrong.
No, you're right.
But the important thing is she then you could see her attitude shift because everyone's starting to get nervous because the thinking is it's going to be a 2-1 game, 1-0 game, something like that. And everybody's starting to get nervous here. Leadoff runner on third. She just bears down and strikes out the next 6 batters. And none of them were close.
Yeah, and I think it's the demeanor. And I think it is that demeanor that you're kind of getting at. It's all business.
Mm-hmm. And the minute she did that, you're
calm,
like,
very calm. But very calm on the mound.
But yeah, like for a sophomore to get in that situation, and there were a lot of people there. It was loud. And to just be like, nope, I got this.
Yeah. And she did that all year. So to be consistent, I do think she got worn down a little bit towards the end of the season. I believe they have another really good pitcher in Kendall Wyman, who's a lefty, which is a nice option to have someone throwing from the other side, who stepped in for a couple games there, mid to late season, but somehow whatever the ailment, injury, et cetera, was for Sydney, she bounced back strong, obviously.
Yeah.
Great playoff performance. But like you said, that's only part of the story. And we had gotten some good information from their coach, Richard Vanna. Congratulations to him. I think it had been a long...
30 years.
Yeah, 30 years.
30 years since a Madomic team had won a tournament championship. So I got in trouble because I said it had been 30 years since anyone had won a championship. Any team won a championship, and the cheerleaders like, we won a championship. But as we all know, tournament championships are different. I don't want to say more difficult. They're different than, say, a cross country team championship or something like that, because you've got to go head to head with people and you've got to beat them and you've got to survive. And that's just a whole different animal to get through a tournament, to get through that gauntlet. And no one had done it in 30 years.
And they got through it marvelously, too.
And they were not the favorite in either of those games.
No, they weren't. And although Richard and then me feeding off of what he had told me and what I had seen the year before in our predictions, he also had high expectations. And he expected them to get back to that regional final, or that was his.
Well, that's a
goal
program.
and his hope, and
That's a program where they're sort of around the goal all the time.
yeah, and they
So-
will be too. By the way, and I don't know if we're going to touch on it, but the Madomic softball youth program.
I heard just their JV team
went
is
to
stacked.
the States. Yeah, they're really good at softball, and the culture in the town and around the programs is strong. So that's going to be going on for a long time. So anyone listening that's
Let's hope.
a softball fan outside of Madomic, you're going to have a tough time playing them for a long time. They got the pitchers. They got pitchers in the loop coming up too.
And they've got some hitting.
Yes. So let's touch on the hitting, because that was a really, really good part of what happened as well. Is that a player, Kendall Simmons, who's a good player, ended up being the hero in that final. Getting the big hit. I believe it was a triple.
That sounds
if I
right.
recall correctly. So, you might not have had her on your, who's the top 3 hitters on Madomic, and she came through. So it just goes to show how deep they are, really. But hitters, they got Ariana Sproul, who was good all year. 1 through 9 in their lineup. I mean, all of them had great seasons.
Yeah, and that
hitting the
championship
ball,
game,
Claudia Feely, et cetera.
there were a lot of big hits in that championship game. There was a lot of, they almost scored a second run. And there were a couple of really nice defensive plays.
Yes.
To erase
defense
things.
was strong all year. And that wins championships too. You have a great pitcher and, not giving up extra outs, so to speak. They had the whole package. That's even what I said. That was one of my quotes in the preview. They have the whole package. If pitching, I said, and Sydney's going to be a star. For
I
sure.
think she might already be one.
Yeah. Well, yes.
And they did, let's just say this, they did, luck out is the wrong word. Herman made a tactical error, which these things happen because you can, so if I understand the rule correctly, you can pinch run for anybody once and then they can return to the game. But if you pinch run for them a second time, they're out. And so they pinch ran for their third baseman, who, to put it nicely, is not going to win any road races ever. And so they pinch ran for in like the second or third inning, and it didn't work out. And so then in the final inning, she got a leadoff walk, I believe. And then someone behind her hit a double on which nearly anyone else you've ever seen play sports would have scored on easily. She got to third.
Right.
And that would have been the tying run. And then there was a pass ball. I believe it was a pass ball. There was something like that where, again, anyone else would have scored, but she didn't. She couldn't. And so she got stuck on third and ended the game at third base as the tying run because they couldn't pinch run for her. I would say maybe, do you have another third baseman and pinch run for her?
Yeah.
But they chose not to. So that was one of the things that was a big swing in the game. Yeah. And that could have tied the game and then we might still be there.
Yeah. Honestly, luck.
There weren't a lot of runs in that game.
In just about every sport, right? When it comes down to it, the shot we took in the semifinal, 20 seconds left, clean shot, great play. Goalie got hit with the ball, didn't even really make a save. It just
there's the infamous Cape Elizabeth game, which I probably heard about that day from 15 different people.
Yeah. Right.
Because everyone was very nervous and it was like, okay, what's going to go wrong?
What's going to go wrong? Yeah. But something went right.
It went right. It swung our way and it was shocking and awesome.
Yeah. And so it does. Yeah. It takes a little bit of
maybe that'll open the dam
to win a championship. Yeah.
Because as little Nick DePatsy told me after the York game or after the Madomic Oceanside game, he goes, I think we might be jinxed.
Yeah.
In these games.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Maybe.
Yeah, so,
now I'm going to knock on this wood right here. The good wood, not the one that's going to do bad audio things.
Yeah. So congrats to Madomic Valley. Great season. Great team. Really enjoyed watching them.
Yeah. The one game I watched was very fun to watch.
Yeah. So we go from that to a rebuilding program.
Is this Lincoln Academy?
No, Wiscasset.
Oh, Wiscasset. Okay.
So this was their first season in, I think it was 5 or 6 years since
right,
pre-COVID. And we predicted that they would win a game or two, and they did. They won 2.
They won 2. So
Against the same team. Yeah,
their
it was
girls
against
basketball team?
Temple Academy, I think it was. Yeah.
So that's a win for you.
Yeah, I think that was a win. I expected it was going to be tough sledding, I think I referred to it as, but that they'd pull out a win or two, and they did. So that's great. You know, they're
Cool.
back on their feet, and it's one of those things that's probably going to take about 4 or 5 years to get to 500, you know, or hopefully sooner. But and they do play in Class D South, so we'll see. They're rebuilding.
All right. And then Booth
In a good
Bay,
way.
how'd they do?
Booth Bay does not have softball. They have baseball. No, that fizzled out. I think I'm not sure when
I
exactly.
saw a picture of them, and maybe
It's
not.
one of
I
the
must be
it's
thinking
one
of
of the
baseball.
reasons their track and field is so good, though,
Oh, okay.
which we'll touch on in a moment. But
And then Lincoln softball.
Lincoln softball, we predicted would be a rebuild, which was quite right. They were 7-9. They made the playoffs, which
giving you a
maybe
win for that.
exceeded what I thought was going to happen because they graduated their best pitcher and catcher.
Oh, that's
Well, the catcher actually was out due to concussions and couldn't play this year, unfortunately for them. So, although Lily Pinkham did a good job, I believe she's a sophomore now at catcher. But, you know, Maggie Thompson, who they would have had as a senior, really strong catcher. So, anyway, yeah, they had a good season. Olivia Ball pitched well, which was one of the question marks. But they just didn't have the offense that you need.
Sure.
So yeah, that wraps up
All right. So then
kind of the softball summary.
let's go to baseball.
Yeah, baseball. I think all the teams slightly exceeded expectations. Let's start with Madomic because they exceeded expectations for sure. We knew that they had a good chance of improving with Jaden Ruiz as their catcher. Great football player.
Yeah.
Freshman, but a really good hitter. He added a lot to their lineup. And we mentioned Gabe Lash in the preview as a pitcher and as a hitter and how he was coming back from not playing for a couple of years. And all that rang true as well. He had a really big year for them at the plate and pitching.
He is playing on an AAU team, the White Mambas, which is Brian Scalabrini. He's the color guy for Celtics games. He used to play for the Celtics. It's his AAU team.
Wow.
So he's playing on that
Very cool.
right now.
Yeah. Well, he'll be going to USM for basketball in the fall. But he had a really good baseball season. So they did really well in the regular season. Kind of fizzled out a little bit in the playoffs.
They got to the semis, right?
Yeah, they were 12-4, and won a playoff game or two.
So I'll just mention this, that of the, not counting tennis, of the tournament sports, so your softball, baseball, football, basketball, soccer, Madomic, all 7 of those teams went to the semifinals or better, 5 regional finals.
Wow.
And 1 champion,
That's
which
impressive.
is a really impressive one school year.
Indeed.
So, you know, I feel like that gets missed and it's worth pointing out.
Yeah. I mean, such a great sports culture there at Madomic Valley. And baseball, fit right in with that. A lot of players had a big year. Christian Schumann at second base.
Free throw
I
champion.
think he was one of the leading hitters in the league. So he had a really good season, helped them out. Lincoln Academy, not so much.
Not so much.
But we predicted that also.
Look at you. You're racking up the W's here.
They were rebuilding. They graduated a ton of guys. We did think that the pitching was going to
They lost a lot of those
bail them
basketball
out.
players, right? Like Gabe Hagar.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. Yep. And Lucas Houghton. So their pitching was okay, but their batting was subpar. And they didn't score a lot of runs. So every game they really had to
Yeah,
hold
that's rough.
down the other team or they were going to lose. And they did. they were 10-1, I believe it was at one point. But then at the end of the season, they won 4 of the last 5 games.
Okay.
They actually had a tie.
So, that's
which
hard
is
to
very
do.
unusual in baseball. So.
Well, I guess it gets dark. So
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened.
But that's a good thing to build on.
Innings or something like that. Yeah, so a lot of the young players were getting plugged into the lineup. I noticed late in the season, a lot of the freshmen and sophomores were getting a lot more playing time, which makes sense. You want to build for the future.
0-10, why not?
Yeah, and it turns out those younger kids did well because they played a lot towards the end when they started turning it around. Booth Bay also we thought was going to have a good season, and they did. Liam Jacobs we highlighted as a pitcher that I thought had already graduated, but he's back and had a really good year for them. I think he had 19 strikeouts in one game.
Wow.
So they made it to the playoffs and unfortunately lost in the first round to Buckfield. Upset them, but yeah, they did pretty well. They're on the upward swing. I think they'll be even better next year.
Does Wisconsin have a team?
They do not.
Right.
They had a JV team, and they're hoping to get back to varsity either next year or the year after that. So they're in that long process that their softball team is in as well.
Seems to be a theme over there.
Yeah, but things are, on the way up. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, it's better than the opposite.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did not have a varsity team; they had a JV team.
All right. So you want to jump to track and field now?
Yeah.
Is there any standout track and fields?
There definitely was this season. I'm going to start with Booth Bay, Wiscasset.
Okay.
They do combine.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's a cooperative, and there are a lot of athletes from Wiscasset that compete on that team. But Karen Higgins had a really strong season. In particular, she placed second in 3 events at the state meet.
Wow.
And she's a distance runner. Also does some is on one of their relay teams as well. So she had a great season. Their team was 5th in the state, Class C, which was pretty impressive. I think that was their best finish in a long time. And Rose Campbell was another standout. She got 5th and 4th in 3 events. So she couldn't quite crack that top 3.
Couldn't get the podium.
But I believe she's a sophomore as well. So their future is bright. They have a lot of young athletes. On the boys' side, I think they didn't quite meet expectations. AJ Crocker got 9th in the 3,200 meter. Was their best finish at the state meet. So not quite probably what he or they expected, but nonetheless, pretty good season for Booth Bay boys. Lincoln Academy.
They made some noise, right? Am I remembering this correctly?
They were the state runner-up in Class B.
Wow.
The first time since 1960.
1960.
Yeah. Wow.
That's like pre-Phil Page.
That's hard to do. But yeah, they won the 4x100 relay with Bear Grandy, which is a cool name.
That's a great name. Bear Grandy?
Bear Grandy.
Like, how do you spell Grandy? Was it like with an E at the end?
No, with a Y.
Okay.
Yeah. But Bear Grandy, Peter Thielander, Forrest Storer, and Jordan Anderson each ran a leg in that relay, state champs. And Thielander went on to win the 300-meter hurdles. He was a good hurdler all year.
Was he?
Yeah. So that wasn't totally
I recognize
a surprise,
that name.
but I don't think he was favored to win at state. So that was cool. So they exceeded expectations at the state meet. Obviously,
I would say so. Yeah,
in
second place,
65 years. So, and Jordan Anderson also he won the 200 meter, which I thought was interesting because I've seen him win the 100 meter. So I think with those sprinters, it's kind of cool.
Well, the 100 200 that's a normal combination.
Yeah, it's twice as long. I mean, it is. So I don't know. it's an accomplishment anyway. Because
I feel like in the
he won the
Olympics-
100 last year, I think it was. So.
I feel like in the Olympics, the 100-meter guys or women are also usually doing the 200.
Yeah.
Or it's the 200, 400, something like that.
Yeah, sprinters are sprinters. Generally, they do both of the events. Or, yeah, I think there's only two, the 100 and the 200. And then Abe Guilford finished second in the discus. And E.J. Hunt placed second in the javelin.
The javelin.
Yeah. So, yeah, a well-rounded team. Like they're good in like just about every event on the boys' side.
So I get my Hunts mixed up.
Yeah.
Is E.J. Hunt the one who was the goalie in soccer, or is he the other one?
He's the other one. I think Drew is.
EJ's the one who
they're
was
twins.
Yeah, they're twins. He was the one who's doing the throw-ins that were better than people's corner kicks.
Yes.
So the javelin makes sense.
Yeah,
because
it totally makes sense.
Dude can throw.
Yeah, good point. And
I pay attention.
His brother's a good lacrosse player and plays defense.
Okay.
And it's part of their good defense that the boys lacrosse team had.
Sure.
On the girls' side, not as great of a year. They got 10th place in Class B. I guess most notable was Mercy Buckwalder. She got third in the 200. Dylan Burmeister got seventh in the 1600. And they had a relay team.
Is that the Dylan Burmeister?
It is.
Who is downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
The intern here that works for us.
Just checking.
Yeah, she was also part of the 4x400 relay that got 5th place.
Okay.
Dylan and Mercy Buckwalder, Delia Saft, and Maggie Thompson. So maybe not the greatest year for the Lincoln girls, but pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. And shifting gears to Madomic Valley's girls track. They're really strong in the relays. We had predicted that with good information from George Gould. Their coach has been there for a long
Forever.
time. Yeah, probably at least 30 years also.
Yeah. Easily.
And he was really excited before the season about their relay team. And sure enough, they were in the top for several events. Looking that up right here just to see. Second in the 4x800.
4x800 sounds hard.
Yeah, that's a long one. Ava Collmore, Kaylee Collmore, the twins.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Along with Haley Chandler. She's a really good soccer player. And then Amber Pendleton's a really good runner who I don't think I gave justice to in the preview.
If you had told me the Collmore twins were in the 4x800 relay, I'd be like, yeah, I think that they're going to do okay.
Right?
They'll be all right.
And speaking to that, Ava Collmore got 5th in the 1600, 5th in the state, and 4th in the 400. Pendleton got 4th in the 400.
Okay.
So, yeah, they have really good distance runners and relay. As it turns out, and another athlete that was on the track team and that surprisingly didn't turn up in the girls' results at the state meet, and I don't know the story there, is Scarlett Flint. She won
Scarlett.
She won the 100 meter in the KVAC. So she won the conference championship. So yeah, they had a really good year. They kind of punch above their weight, I would say. They don't have they have a really small team. Like Lincoln has like 80 kids.
Well, they're all playing softball.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess, right. Yeah, so in track, and then on the boys' side for Madomic, again, not a very big team. Maybe they're playing
baseball.
On that baseball team. So Evan Rush was one of the highlights for them. He placed in the top 5 in the triple jump, I believe it was. So he's following in his brother's footsteps, who goes to Maine, and competes in college in the jumping events.
In the jumping events?
Jumpers.
Cool. All right, so what do we got left here?
I think
as we approach an hour,
I think we covered everything.
All right.
I'm looking at my list. Yeah, we got track. We got.
Do we want to hit road races real quick?
Yeah, I always.
Connor Daigle 3 times in a row at Waldeboro Day 5K.
Yeah,
broke his own course record.
Yeah.
which is
I was there. I saw that. There was nobody close. He was like,
by like 4 minutes.
it's like 10. Yeah. Was it 4 minutes? I was going to say like 10 minutes. It seemed like an eternity.
It's
Way ahead.
We knew he'd come fast, but all of a sudden it's like, we're like, oh, we got like 2 more minutes. And someone yells like, here comes Connor. We're like, oh, okay. All right. I had to race to get to the finish line. He had like a half mile to go. I had like the length of that block, and he almost beat me.
Yeah. He can fly.
And I'm not.
It's fun to watch people that can run like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. So as a photographer, I'm waiting for that next runner so I can take photos of second place. So I'm waiting. Like, did they take the wrong turn or something?
I mean, I told them all at the beginning to just follow Connor, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah, and his brother's an up-and-coming runner on the Madomic team. I think he's a freshman or sophomore, but he's definitely on his way to being an elite runner as well. So runs in the family a little bit. Yeah,
and then we had the Strawberry Shortcake Shuffle on the 5th, which had a record number of people, I believe.
Yes.
That's a brutal course. They're both brutal courses.
Yeah, there's some tough hills on that. I ran that one. That's the only 5K I ever did.
Really? Yeah. How'd you do?
Better than I thought I was going to, but I was a younger man at that time.
Yeah.
It was like 23 minutes or something like that.
Waldeboro is like a loop, and you go through town, and there's all these there's all these steep little hills, and then the big hill. But the Strawberry Shortcake Shuffle is just this one hill, and it's an out and back, and it's like, it's just rough.
Yeah.
And I'll say that it's the course that's closest to my house, and I don't run it very often.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like,
that hill's not fun.
And I run that hill all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't like racing up that hill.
Yeah.
But they had a really good turnout.
They did. Amazing. Over 230 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're raising money for healthy kids.
Correct.
Which is a very, very good thing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
More than $10,000.
And then coming up, we have the Pemaquid Try.
Ooh, I love that one. Can't wait.
I think we might be doing a team from here.
Oh,
I think I'm doing the 5K and Sherwin's doing
the bike.
Must
be, yeah.
And Molly might be doing the swim.
Oh, we got a swimmer.
I don't know if I'm saying things out of school that I shouldn't be saying, but that seems to be the plan. I know I'm not doing the swim because I would not like to drown.
Yeah, that's what keeps me from doing anything like that.
It's the swim.
Not a swimmer. Terrible.
Yeah. It seems...
But it's not that long of a swim. I mean, it's easy for me to say.
Oh, no. Yeah, short, easy.
Yeah. But it's shorter than I thought because you can watch it happen from Pemaquid Beach. You can see the swim.
Okay.
And it's not ridiculously long, but again, it's easy to say. Right?
Yeah. If you're doggy paddling, it's going to take you a while.
If anybody out there hasn't been to that or participated in that, it really is a super fun event. It's really cool to watch the 3 different events and how they kind of transition from swimming and running up the beach and grabbing your bike, and then the bike to run transfer.
It's all fascinating.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Like hopefully they'll get great weather. I think last year was really nice, if I remember correctly.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
So I'm hopefully going to be at that, covering it for the paper like I have in the last 2 years.
Don't get pictures of me where I look like I'm dying. And if you do, delete them.
Yeah. Last event, I took some shots of Lucas. He did look like he was suffering a little bit.
I'm slowly getting back in shape.
Alewife 5K.
The Alewife 5K. Yes, there was that one too, which had a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, it did. Yep. Big turnout.
Our own Mike Lee finished 10th.
It was top 10, I believe.
Something like that?
Yeah.
He had a pretty good showing.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else we need to cover?
I could go on all day. We got
but people need
championships.
People need the room.
League baseball. But we'll cover that on another time.
All right. So I think that'll do it for us.
Yeah. Great season. Great spring high school sports. Loved it. Very successful for local teams. And looking forward to
the fall preview.
And football.
Soccer and football. Volleyball now.
Yeah.
I think my brother's still the coach.
Is he? All right.
I think so.
Hey, cool.
All right. That'll do it for us.
Thank you for listening to Beyond the Broadsheet, a podcast by the Lincoln County News. This podcast is produced by Lucas McNelly and Maia Zewert. Tyler Davis of Tyality Productions provides production support. Our theme music is by Stu Mahan and Lincoln County News Associate Editor / bassist Sherwood Olin. The Lincoln County News hits newsstands across the county every Wednesday afternoon, and you can also access our work online at lcnme.com. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion, please email us at info@lcnme.com. As always, we're grateful for the support of our readers and listeners in Lincoln County and beyond. It's been great catching up today, and we'll talk with you again soon.